Hey, ladies. Welcome to Freedom Friday. I hope you all had a great week. I'm your girl, Cherie. This is Black Women Making Money. Glad to have everybody in the building. If you would please click the like button for us. If you are listening to the replay, definitely put replay in the chat. Or better yet, tell me if you went to Investfest. Did you go? What did you think of it? Tell me what you think about the new levels of economic segregation. We're going to talk about that as well tonight. We are going to start off with a little bit of economic news today. So I'm going to give people just a minute or so to come in, but I see Rana is in the building. Hello, Rana. In the meantime, as everyone is listening, if you are not on my email list, you're a little bonkers because I actually sent out every Wednesday. Wednesday is Wealth Wednesday. I sent out some information that is useful to all of us as upwardly mobile Black women. Also, once a month, we have our behind the YouTube Zoom session where we kind of talk through some of the things that are happening with regards to the economy, with regards to being upwardly mobile. And the next one is going to be on September 24th. But the only way to get an invitation is to be on my email list, bwmakingmoney.com. That's bwmakingmoney.com to get that invitation. Rana was at the last one we did last week, and it was awesome. So if you are looking to be amongst a group of upwardly mobile Black women, you definitely want to be on my email list, bwmakingmoney.com. Again, our next Zoom session is on September 24th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and you won't want to miss it. So, Sugar St. James is in the house saying, I'm happy to be tuning into your show. Well, I'm happy you're here as well. And Mr. Alonzo is saying, salute. Alonzo, you've been going live like practically every day. You've been schooling the men. I love it when Black men get together and like talk amongst each other and try to problem solve. We're doing it over here as Black women. And, I definitely support you and Coach K and others, Diamond Dave, etc., who are trying to talk with the men and uplift the men. And Rana is saying, yes, our session on last Sunday was amazing. We actually talked about strategic networking. Not only did we talk about it, we put like everyone's plans in place. So it was really good. So let's first of all talk about a little bit of economic news that's happening, ladies, because the jobs report came out. The jobs report came out and the unemployment rate went up, even though we added 187,000 jobs to the economy. And you may be wondering why. Why did that happen? Well, despite adding 187,000 new jobs last month, the unemployment rate rose to 3.8% from 3.5% in July. That's the biggest 1 month jump since May. And outside of the onset of the pandemic, the last time the unemployment rate rose that high in 1 month was November 2011. So remember, I've been talking to you all about this Bidenomics that he's been touting, hey, we've got this low unemployment rate, et cetera, et cetera. And I keep telling y'all, just watch the election because he doesn't want the economy to get too crazy with regards to this. But let's continue reading here. By definition, the unemployment rate captures the share of unemployed people as a percentage of the labor force. The labor force is the total number of people employed and unemployed. To be considered unemployed, you do not necessarily have to have been laid off recently. That means you could have been unemployed for months or years and be considered part of the unemployed number. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they classify someone as unemployed if they are not working but are available for work and made a specific effort in the past month to find a job. So you may be saying, well, how do they know these people are making an effort to find a job? Probably because they are getting unemployment checks. That's how we know. Um, if they don't satisfy the criteria, they aren't considered part of the labor force. So the number of unemployed people rose by 514,000 people. So, in other words, you had 187,000 jobs added. However, the number of unemployed people went up by 514,000 people because more people are getting off the sideline and starting to get back into the labor force. Ladies, one of the big things we have to remember as Black women is we have a lot outside of Black men. We are the most vulnerable with regards to being fired, right? Last hired, first fired, et cetera, et cetera. The other thing is, even though we as Americans hate to see unemployment rising, you know who doesn't like, who doesn't mind? The stock market, the investors. Because investors were not sweating the job report at all. In fact, they like the fact that unemployment is rising, ladies. Now, why would they like that? Stocks climbed Friday after the release of employment data showing unemployment is up and earnings growth is slowing. But investors are cheering the update because it raises the chances that the Fed will cut rates sooner. One economist called it the quote, Fed's dream jobs report. So, ladies, even though we may know people who are being laid off, even though we may know people who are having a tough time economically, um, the people on Wall Street, they like it. They like it. So I hope you've been in the stock market. You got your 401ks, you got your other investments because, the stock market is approving of this. So flash waves in the building, more people enter the labor force. Exactly, exactly. So, all right. So let's talk about part one then of what we came to talk about, which was Investfest. Ladies, did you all go to Investfest? I'm gonna say what I think about it, whether or not, whether or not you went or not, whether or not you liked it or not. I will say one thing. I will say this, as you all are telling me, did you go to Investfest, or did you watch it online or anything like that? I will say one thing. I saw Erica, her last two lives, or I think it was her last two lives, since she's been back. And she has talked twice about the fact that so many people were hating on Investfest. Not once, not a recap, just once, but twice. In two different live streams, she talked about it for, an extended period of time. I think is interesting. The other thing that I think is interesting is I don't know who Tony the Closer is. I mean, I've seen him around, but I don't really watch him. I don't really know him like that. But one of the organizers of Investfest went on Tony the Closer's YouTube channel and spent an hour talking about the haters of Investfest and why people shouldn't be hating on Investfest. So y'all know I was busy this week, and besides, even if I wasn't busy, I don't snoop social media like that. But people must have been really talking negatively about InvestFest. A lot of people must have really been talking negatively about InvestFest for some of the aftermath things I've seen to, you know, be so pervasive. So Rana's saying no. Rana's saying I never went. So the rest of y'all must have went to InvestFest that are in here. Well, let's take a look at the InvestFest lineup. Since Rana didn't go, I didn't go. The first thing that I looked at, and I'm just going to make this a bit smaller here so you all can see. Whenever you come to a website, the first thing that you see kind of sets the mood for um, whatever it is you're entering, right? And I'm looking at InvestFest here, but then at the bottom of the screen, I'm looking at two cars. I think is very interesting that this was what they wanted you to see and wanted you to get the feel for when you came to this website. They have the skyline, the beautiful skyline. You're watching it from afar, but you're up close to some 1970s Cadillac with the hood open on one end. And I mean, it's a pretty car on the other end. Um, but, but I'm like, okay, yeah, like a car show, right? So I was like, interesting. And I have to admit, I hadn't been to the website before like 10 minutes ago. I literally was like, well, let me like pull up. I had heard of some of the lineup, but I hadn't been to the website. So I come here 10 minutes ago and I'm like, oh, interesting, interesting, interesting. So this tells you the type of individual that they are trying to attract, or it tells you what they believe Black people who want to learn about money and investing, the first thing that we want to see. For me, this picture says a lot. This picture says a lot. Flash was Wave is saying, live in the area but didn't go to Investfest because it's not my crowd. Yeah. And it's funny because Erica Williams was talking about the fact that even though there were 20,000 people at Investfest, which I must admit, I don't go anywhere with 20,000 people. There could be 20,000 white people there, and I'm not going. I don't like crowds like that. I like my networking events, 100 people, 200 people. If you get above 300, I'm kind of like, I tapped out because it's just too many people for me, but that's just me. So I don't do concerts or anything like that unless it's like a small like venue, then I'll go. But um but yeah, Erica was talking about the fact that she was like, talking to people in Uber, talking to people at different stores and things like that. And a lot of people in Atlanta didn't even know what InvestFest was or, what was happening. So Patty is in the building saying red flag. Flashwave is saying I'm Black, but I feel I've matured behind the hip hop culture. I have. I matured beyond the hip hop culture in the late 90s, probably about 98. I was done. I was tapped out. But let's keep looking here. So I hadn't read any of this before. So we're just going to kind of go through, look at the pictures, look at some of the information here. Bigger and better than ever. I think this was last year's InvestFest because I remember the Tyler Perry and this is what he was wearing, right? The first of its kind in person experience to combine investing, entrepreneurship, pop culture, and entertainment in a festival setting. So, this is what InvestFest is. And it's okay. Like, look, if there is a certain demographic of individuals that InvestFest is targeting. I don't talk negatively about the people who put InvestFest together, nor will I talk negatively about the people who were there. It just for me, it isn't my cup of tea, right? If I'm going to learn about investing and entrepreneurship, I don't need pop culture and entertainment wrapped in it. I said this yesterday on the live. Give me a good, boring wasp up there and let me learn like some, options and oil and gas and what's happening in the market and how to interpret the data and all of that. I'm cool, right? But this is what they're offering here. So again, you got the recap with the cars there because that's what we need to have. The topics discussed. We're going to be investing, crypto, real estate planning, taxes, stocks, insurance, and content creation. So this by itself, this actually looks pretty good, right? If you were interested in any of these things, you're able to go and participate. And of course, general admission was $300, which for me, that's, for what they were offering for multiple days, that Actually isn't a bad price. VIP admission was 1,800. Platinum VIP was $5,000 and lifetime VIP was 13 grand. Then you could have stayed at home and watched the live stream for $99. So that is what was here. So let's see the lineup, right? Who was there? We're not going to go through, we're going to go through some of these people. I did actually go through the lineup. No. I didn't go through it. Tam went through it. Tam from Women in Linux went through it. And I was like, I don't know, I don't know hardly any of these people. Obviously, I know these people, these four people up here, right? Diddy is the headliner. So the very first person you have for Investfest is Puffy. I'm old school. I remember when he was Puffy. I remember when he was dancing in everybody's videos. I remember when he was dating J Lo, you know, back in the day. Then you got Robert F. Smith. Then you got Steve Harvey. And then you got Jeezy on the other side. I've heard that Jeezy is like a real estate guy. I don't know much about him except that he's a rapper, but I did hear that he does business, right? So immediately I got three entertainers and one businessman. And one of the big issues that Black people complain about so much is that we lean so heavily into entertainment. We lean so heavily into entertainment with regards to our lineups and with regards to what we are attracted to and how people sell to us. But then for 20,000 people to get together to learn about money, we have to bring the music, right? We have to bring the music. Yeah, I would agree they made some money. $300 times 20,000 people. Yeah, and they probably had sponsors. Erica said they had vendors. Yeah, look, if they didn't make any money, shame on them. But yeah, they made some. Now, don't get it twisted. They probably had to pay a lot of these speakers to come. And some of these speaker fees are pretty hefty, Denise. So we don't know what the bottom line was at the end of the day. It is very expensive to run events. We don't know what the insurance costs for them to have this event. We don't know what the speakers cost. We don't know what other expenditures they had. So don't just look at people's top line, also look at people's bottom line. I'm not saying they didn't make any money. I'm saying we don't know. We don't know. So Atlanta's the second largest convention city. Investfest is not big enough yet to take over the city. Yeah, it didn't take over the city. Definitely not, because she said that so many people did not know what InvestFest was. Just like Grant Cardone tries to take over Miami, but he can't either because a lot of people don't know who he is outside of YouTube and social media. People who want to level up their money. So you're saying here, I knew it is too true to be true. I don't know what that means. It's P. Diddy now. Yet look, like I said, I knew when he was Puffy, Puff Daddy. I knew him when Biggie was alive. You know? So Sammy is saying hello, 100. I would have been interested in Robert Smith and Kathy Woods. Here's the thing. Flashwave. There are a lot of interviews of Robert Smith online. There are a lot of interviews of him. There are a lot of, he doesn't do a lot of like just speaking. He does a lot more interviews, but you could see hours of Robert Smith. You could see hours of Kathy Woods right here on YouTube. You can go, and I can go and meet these people face to face, but really what you're looking for, in my opinion, what I look for, let me just say what I look for. I look for who else is going to be in the room and who else am I going to connect with in the room. And with a venue of 20,000 people, it's hard to know who you're going to run into, you know? So pop culture and drama and music are all indicative of high cortisol levels, which lead to high stress and low attention spans. Yeah, yeah. And you're saying too good to be true. I got it. Hey, Roma. All right, so we're still on we're still on the first row. Let's look at the next row. So you got the Earn Your Leisure guys, you got 19 Keys, Rich Paul. So I do know who he is. He is the what do you call it? He is LeBron James's partner, business partner, Ian Dunlap. So yeah, so 3 out of 4 of these are EYL guys, so perfectly fine. Then we're starting to get here again. So you got Ari Fletcher, okay. You got Ja Rule. I saw Ja Rule rapping. He did a concert. You got Jermaine Dupri, entertainers, entertainers, entertainers. Terrence J, entertainer. John Sally, I just recognize his face, so he's entertainer, right? I don't know who Matthew Garland is, Jr. I don't know who that is. Some guy with the shirt off. I guess he's there to get the ladies. John Hope Bryant. He looks like maybe he's a business guy. I don't know. B. Simone was there. Okay, so entertainer. Benjamin Crump. He must have been there to talk about social justice, Black Lives Matter, whatever he's doing these days. Donahue Peebles. So I know the father Donovan Peebles, I think is his name, is a very wealthy real estate guy. So that must be his son. You got people here I don't know. I've heard of Ash Cash before, but I've never really watched him too much. I think this Kiana Watson is a mortgage woman or a realtor or something like that. She's on EYL. So yeah, look, this is who's here, right? There's a lot of people I don't know. Like we're getting to okay. I don't know these people. I don't know these people. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing like that. Probably there were a lot of them that were very good speakers. I happen to know Pierre Laveau because of some work I've done previously. So I happen to know who he is. But yeah, just going through. This Congressman Jamal Bowman, ladies, this guy is the one that is co-sponsoring the RAP Act for Jay-Z. That he's a hard pass for me. He's the one, this Congressman Jamal Bowman, he is co-sponsoring the RAP Act for Jay-Z. You all are asking, what's the RAP Act? Well, let me tell you. These rappers have lyrics where they are saying that they are murking people and doing all sorts of crime, and they are admitting to crimes in their songs. And Congressman Jamal Bowman has this rap act that says that prosecutors cannot use the lyrics of these rap songs to prosecute people. Now, it's my understanding, based on what I was reading, that they were not only using the rap lyrics to prosecute, it was just another piece of evidence. They would have all sorts of other evidence, and they would play the rap songs for the jury. However, now they want to take that out of they want to make that illegal for DAs to use the songs in these lyrics. He's a hard pass for me. So, you got more people here, more people here. Let's see here. I don't know who these people are. But yeah, so we're just kind of going down here. I think we hit all of our entertainers. These are regular people, I believe. Lala Anthony is down here. Okay, so she's an entertainer as well, right? We're not going to go through everybody, but you all get the idea. So this is the line up here for Investfest. So let me come up here and see what you all were saying. Roma saying, looking forward to this live. Well, you're here, girl. You're in the building. Why they did it because for the culture, maybe for inspiration. Yeah. So if we're talking about inspiring people, I would agree with that. The question is, for the largest festival for the large, first of all, call them a festival and not a conference or something like that, of Black people getting together to talk about money. And it has to have so much pop culture and so much, the fancy cars and things like that in order to draw people. And maybe they didn't need all of that to draw people. It just seems like a lot, Kay Sherelle. So I'm not downing people who went, right? I'm not downing people who went at all. Um, I personally am just saying, first of all, I don't go anywhere where there's 20,000 people, and second, it's just not the type of thing I would have been interested in. Um, and third, some of that stuff is spilling over as well. We continuously complain about the fact that Black people, they always try to hook Black people with either celebrities or talking about mass incarceration or prison. And this is the Investfest lineup here. So, and I'm going to show some video that I found as well. So, Sam, were you saying it's best to balance the stimulants with the bland information, plus perhaps the entertainment is to keep up with the low attention spans we have these days. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, Samry, and that's a great point. We are so social media, yes, is causing us to have lower attention spans. However, the wealthiest people, if you look at the wealthiest people and you actually listen to how they're training their kids to not be on social media so much because there is wealth building when you are able to concentrate for long periods of time. So, the dumbing down of America, the lowering of our attention spans are keeping us poor. They're keeping us poor. And if we as Black people are saying that we're tired of being at the bottom, then we have to deal with the fact individually and collectively that we have low attention spans. We aren't reading as much. We're over indexed on social media, et cetera, et cetera. So, but, I think it's a good point you're making. I think individually as upwardly mobile Black women, this is something that we need to think about, right? And we need to shift. We need to read 15 minutes a day at a minimum. We need to turn off the social media, et cetera, et cetera. So, Mary is saying, where were licensed financial professionals in the lineup? I, Perhaps some of these people were licensed financial professionals. I don't know. But Flashwave is saying, also too many shady people orbiting EYL. I'm too old to get scammed. I understand that. If you all watch the Pocket Watching guy, he does a lot of the exposés, with regards to that. So yeah, just be careful. Roma's saying, so the Shade Room BET Awards, folks. Yeah, yeah. Mary is saying, I don't see anyone with the letters CPA, tax attorney, CFP, etc. You're right. You're right. They may not have put it on there, so um, I don't want to infer that none of the people were credentialed. I don't want to infer that at all, because I don't know, right? But you are right that they did not put that up there. So, Computer and Coin is in the building. Hello, my dear. First name, last name is San. So, what was InvestFest about? Any connections made or new business ventures, etc., in the works? So, InvestFest was supposed to be about, let me actually pull it up for you again. It was supposed to be investing, crypto, real estate planning, taxes, stocks, insurance, and content creation. So these were the topics that were going to be discussed. However, this is what they used to sell us. This is what they used to sell us on InvestFest. Why would you even put that in your music for? Like what? Yeah, I agree. The Rap Act would lead to even more crimes. Exactly. Exactly. They need to reverse it. Yeah, I don't think it's passed yet. I think he is trying to push it through. He's trying to push it through. It's not good. It was too much entertainment and no education. What's the difference between Investfest and the Essence Fest? I don't know. You know what? You bring up a good point because Essence Fest has, now I've never been, so I have to admit I'm just getting this secondhand, but I know a lot of people in New Orleans, and it has um, uh, seminars and educational events during the daytime, and then it has some music at night. So you're right. You're right. Good catch. Fest versus conference. Yep. Even in the terminology, we're talking about partying. Yep. InvestFest is for certain segment of the Black community. Um, the marketing didn't target people who are serious about wealth. So, yeah. Um, and like I said, I thought I was the only one when I heard about InvestFest. I was like, not interested. And then I heard two people. I heard Tam from Women in Linux talk about it. And she was like, I'm not interested. I'm not going. I'm going to this Red Hat thing. Y'all know Tam is about her coins. She makes her money, right? And I also heard another gentleman, Coach K, over at Business Talk with K. He was like, "No, not interested either." And I was like, "Okay, at least it's not just me, right?" And then y'all are in here as well. If you went, if you liked it, I definitely do not down people who went and they enjoyed it. It just like I said, I don't go anywhere with 20,000 people, and I wouldn't have gone to something like this to learn about wealth. So um, Sam was saying, "Oh yeah, poop parents sit their kids in front of the TV, give them a screen to stare at. Is programming kids from low to mid economic levels to consume without analysis. Poor people, yes, poor people. You're absolutely right, Samry. It's a dangerous thing to do, which is why I always say that who you choose as the father for your children is the most important financial decision you will ever make in your life. And it will be the most important financial decision in your kids' lives. Because if you're not so tired from working and things like that, you have more time to read to your kids, to take your kids to the museum, to take your kids to do activities like soccer and ballet and things like that. So, yeah, yeah, and we're talking here tonight about economic segregation as well. So I'm going to be talking about that and giving you all the five groups of like the five new groups of economic segregation that I got that I read someplace. So Mary is saying I'll stick with Mark Kohler's conferences. He's a tax attorney and a CPA. He's always teaching about tax strategy and wealth building. Sounds like my kind of guy. I have to check him out. I do. I do. I do. Roma saying, is this a black funded event or is it white owned, kind of like George Soros as the black, as the for BLM? I believe it's black owned. I believe it is black owned, but I don't know. I don't know, but I believe it is. Selfish Love is saying, I'm late, but hi, ladies. Well, hello, Selfish Love. Hello. All right. So let us go to some of the things that were happening at Investfest, right? I'm going to show you 3 short videos here of what was happening at Investfest. Let me come here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this is the first one here that I want to show you. And just seeing people. You get to see the vendor area, etc. Steve Harvey's talking to Don Peebles. So it definitely looked like a lot of people, right? Okay. So then let's look at, just want to give you kind of like part of the lay of the land, right? Let's look at number 2. And when I saw this, I was like, ooh, not a good look. Y'all ready? So we're making it rain. We're making it rain. I probably shouldn't have put so much music in there. I don't know if if the YouTube copyrights are going to come for me or not. But yeah, they're throwing money. Can you see? I wish I could make it bigger for you. Yes, they are throwing money around. Let me see if I can make it bigger. And I'm going to turn off the audio and just show they are over here making it rain, Rana. They over here making it rain. Like they in a strip club. You're saying it was fake money, but why? But if we're talking about going to learn about wealth building, right? If we're talking about going to learn about wealth building and we're making it rain, and again, I'm not downing anybody who went, I'm not downing anybody who enjoyed themselves. But the one thing we always complain about is that when it comes to us and when it comes to our wealth building, we always have to lace entertainment in it. We always have to lace making it rain in it. We always have to lace these things in it in order to get our attention as a people. In fact, this week, y'all know that Donald Trump took his mugshot, right? Have you all been hearing the Fox News host and other conservative white news hosts saying now more Black men are going to be voting for Donald Trump because he got a mugshot and now he has street cred? I should have pulled it up and played it for you all. Like literally, that is what this white man on Fox News, one of the hosts, Jesse Waters, said, is now that Donald Trump has a mugshot. And y'all know I'm not necessarily against Trump or for Trump. I'm neutral, right? But now that he has a mugshot, Black men are going to vote for Trump because the system hemmed him up and now he has street cred. He specifically used the term street cred. So, yeah. All right. Let's look at one final thing. We're going to look over here. Let me pull it up for you. Okay, let's listen to what this young lady is saying.
Go to Investfest and feel like this is the worst investment they've ever made.
Investfest 2023 Atlanta, Georgia. We turn the fuck up. This is Black Excellence, Black Pride.
Okay. If YouTube YouTube may give me a copyright strike because of the music. I forget. Like y'all know I don't really like care like that. But yeah, this was Investfest. So the last two things I saw first, and I was like, okay, I thought it was important for us to have this conversation, ladies. I thought it was important. So you all are saying a lot in here. You're saying you're embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. I mean, I know that was not the entire Investfest, right? I know that there were different parts of it, different factions of it. Like, for example, if I said yesterday, if I lived in Atlanta and Erica was like, okay, I'm coming for Investfest, but we're going to come over to this other restaurant or place like that, and all of the Classy Klein people are going to get together, I wouldn't have gone to Investfest, but I would have signed up for Erica's thing. In fact, when Erica came to DC, I was in the building. I was in the room. I paid my money to be there. If Diamond Dave says, hey, I'm doing a live event, I might even fly to go see Diamond Dave. But, You can't tell what the song is. You should be okay. Yes, I don't know what the song was. People are right. They care about entertainment. Yeah, the optics are still horrible, fake or not. I agree. It's not a good look. And then when white people decide they want to do another version of Investfest, what are they going to do? They're going to have a whole bunch of entertainers there talking about their weed businesses. Not that I'm against the marijuana business, but um, their shoe business, their marijuana business, their hair care business, you know, and we're not talking real estate. We're not talking stock options. We're not talking oil and gas. We're not talking the next level tax strategies, et cetera, et cetera. They tell you just enough to make you feel like you're learning something. But there are levels to wealth building, and we're only getting levels 1 and 2. And I'm not saying InvestFest only gave people level 1 and 2. I'm saying overall, when people target us, we're only getting levels 1 and 2. And I want to be in rooms where I'm getting levels 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I've been in those rooms before and met people that are there. And it's different. It's different. And they're not inviting Taylor Swift, and they're not inviting Adele, and they're not inviting Eminem. They're not inviting Linkin Park. That's the only point that I'm making with regards to this. So, Dawn Earth is in the building saying, no, they didn't say that. Shouldn't be surprised though. Dang, I don't know what they were saying. There's you all were talking about the Trump thing. Yeah, they did say it. You should go check it out. We may talk about that. Y'all know I talk about my YouTube conservatives sometimes. So yeah, they said that. Yes, they did. I heard him myself. He said that Trump now has street cred. He used the term street cred. And that black men, they specifically said men. Well, that's not true. He said black people and then he said black men. Are more of them are going to vote for Trump because he has street cred. Yep, certainly did. Certainly did. Saying the quiet part out loud. Yes. How many people in attendance walked away knowing the economic great divide is here and the middle class is going away? I don't know, Mary. Fox News is on to something. Yeah, low vibrational businesses. Yeah. Exactly. White people were to put this event together, they would have been called racist. Exactly. Talking down to black people. Every time you give us something, this has to be a whole bunch of entertainers laced in it. We can't get something that's just straight wealth building. So, and Amethyst is in the building as well. So, all right, ladies. So that is my conversation really about Investfest. I'm going to talk about economic segregation. Put a 1 in the chat if anybody wants to come up and talk with me either about Investfest or economic segregation. And I got some articles about the wealthy as well to show you. Put a 1 in the chat if anybody wants to come up. If you all don't want to come up, that's fine. I don't want to put the link in the chat unless people want to come up. But I want to talk a little bit about economic segregation because there are new levels of economic segregation that's coming. It used to be the ultra wealthy, upper middle class, working class, and lower class. And Rana wants to come up. Okay, so let me throw the link in the chat right here. I'm going to throw the link in the chat there for you, for Rana and anybody else. Okay. And everybody, don't forget to like the chat as well. Sorry, like the stream as well and share it with a friend or two. All right. So again, economic segregation used to be upper middle class, elite? No. Wealthy, upper middle class, working class, and the poor. And Ashlove, I see you. Give me 1 second and I'll bring you up. Now, I read this article or something like that. I don't know where I got it from, so I can't give credit. However, I've been hanging on to this for a while and I want to share it with you ladies. The new economic segregation is this, ladies. The new economic segregation is this. It's going to be the elite, the academics, the business owners, the highly skilled people, and everybody else, right? So, economic segregation again is going to the elites, the academics, the business owners, the highly skilled, and everybody else. So, what do I mean by this? The elites are obviously the wealthy, the oligarchs, the people who pull the puppet strings, the people who run the system, they run the world, et cetera, right? Your academics are part two. That's the second economic segregation. These are our people who are, in universities, in colleges, um, in higher, level, um, high school, K through 12, etc. They run our research institutions where they actually are doing research on, a lot of medical research, etc., which is why when we had that conversation about Heather McDonald and we talked about her talking about when race trumps merit, and when we talked about the overturning of affirmative action, I said the greatest thing that concerns me is Black people who care about Black people, B1 people, not being a part of these research institutions and these elite universities. Because we do need representation there. So that's group number 2 of the academics. Group number 3 are the business owners. The business owners are not people who are 1099s. The business owners are not people who are self-employed. The business owners are the people who can build a company with employees and who can create repeatable processes that produce a profit. They have employees, they know how to staff, they know how to raise money when needed, they know how to grow. Those are the business owners. Again, we're talking about economic segregation. So we talked about the elite, we talked about people in academics, we talked about the business owners. The fourth group are our highly skilled people. That's us, ladies, a lot of us as upwardly mobile Black women. I am a loan officer. When I get to the top 10% of the game, I will be highly skilled in that. Some of you are in tech, but it's not everyone in tech. It's if you are highly skilled in tech. But don't sleep on the blue collar people. Some of our blue collar people are highly skilled. They're welders, they're diesel mechanics, they're plumbers, they're electricians, etc. And then the fifth group is everyone else. That includes customer service. That includes people who are not doing very well economically. Any unskilled labor or moderately skilled labor is basically everybody else. So what I'm encouraging you today to think about is, are you going to be elite? Which I have no interest in being elite, but maybe some of you do. Are you going to be in academics and at the highest levels of academics? Are you going to be a business owner that's creating something and building something where people will run the day-to-day of that business, and you're going to be responsible for bringing people together and running an enterprise that is profitable? And again, those are not 1099 people, right? Are you going to be highly skilled labor? That could be white collar labor or blue collar labor. You must be upwardly mobile, meaning you're making 6 figures plus, or you're going to be everybody else. You're going to be everybody else. So with that, I have Ash Love here. I will let you unmute yourself. Hello, Ash Love.
Hello. Hi, Miss Sheree. How are you?
I am good. Okay, so this is Rana. Yes. Hi.
Yes, I don't know why it comes out like that, but yes.
What are your
Um,
thoughts?
my thoughts?
Yeah, you came up.
Oh, yes. So my thoughts, all right, with the whole, I'm going to talk about the both things. So with the whole invest whatever, it looks like a festival to me. And I knew it was too to be true because I saw those two cars and I saw it's decorated. It looks like a Miami decoration. So
Hmm.
I figured it's kind of like a party stuff type of thing. And then when you show the evidence um of the based on the YouTube videos that you saw on your screen, I say, yep, I knew it was too good to be true. It's gonna be like BET Vest festival, nothing to do
Hmm.
with, and it just shows us that I have to say this, but they're not taking Black people seriously. So because we want entertainment and everything, we don't want to learn. We do. Like, of course, ladies in here like us, we do want to learn. But I would say as a collective, they do not want to learn anything. They just want to entertain, or they want a quick, fast way to doing things. So that's why like our attention spans is getting smaller and smaller, because for my generation and then the one after me, they're going on their phones. And then even the alpha generation, they don't even watch TV. They're just looking at their little phones that the mommy hand to them, and that's it.
Hmm.
So, you know,
Yeah. Now Patty is saying they. What you mean they? Who you talking about?
I'm talking about alpha generation and Gen Z. That's what I mean. That's who they. Sorry. Yeah.
Look, and all of us are going through it as well. I have to be very cautious about my social media consumption. I like a little
Hmm.
gossip, don't get me wrong, but I do try very hard, and I have to try very hard to balance that with more serious stuff, money making stuff, stuff about the economy, stuff that gets me better at my profession, and also balancing that with reading every once in a while. Not every once in a while, I try to read a little bit every day as well, but it's hard. Like, it is easier to do the low vibrational stuff, and that's for everybody. Even my girl Tam here, I saw you here, Tam, talking about more money. Yeah. It's easier to do the low vibrational stuff. It's harder to say, you know what, I know what they're trying to feed us, and then I put in quotes, right? I know what they're trying to feed us, and then I know what they're doing on the back end. And if they are telling me to do one thing and they're doing something else, I need to be paying attention. And so many of us are not paying attention. And that's why when it comes to the economic segregation, 85%, 90% of people are going to be everyone else.
Yes.
They're going to be everyone else.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Yes. So, now when it comes to the new economic class, I'll be honest, I want to either be highly skilled or be the academic. Um, Highly skilled, like in what I do as a profession, and then in the medical field that I mentioned to you, like in doing the event. And then I also want to do academic, like I want to do the research behind it and teach it as well at the
Mm-hmm.
universities. So and when I realize now, now that you mention it, I think the closing window is getting smaller and smaller for those who are attending universities, um in terms of elite schools like
Mm-hmm.
Harvard, Yale, sorry, Dartmouth,
Princeton, mm-hmm. Brown.
Princeton, Brown. I'm thinking from the top of my head, if
Mm-hmm.
I can think straight. Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
Who else am I missing? Northwestern.
It's going to get harder and
It's
harder
gonna,
for
yes,
people to get in unless you were born on third base.
yes. It's
It's
gonna
not,
be,
it's, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, it's gonna be difficult, and that's why I say, like, when I think about another sect, well, I'm not gonna name these group of people, but when I say these sect of people who gets rid of affirmative action, they shoot themselves in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have to say. It's like, listen, we're not the ones who, we're not the ones who's going to suffer. You're going to suffer too, because in order to go to these elite schools, I'm not just competing with other millennials or Gen Zers or the alphas, right? Regardless of race, I'm competing those that are fresh off the plane. So, um, so if they don't see that, then what else? And then since they already get to the elites, they're going to go after to the regular colleges, right? That's state colleges, not the elite. State and maybe some private. So private colleges that are not elites, and then state colleges. And then after that, it'll be HBCUs. If I saw a lawsuit against the HBCU, I won't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they let in some non-Black people, even though they let in non-Black people to those schools and attend, I wouldn't be surprised if they go after them next. Plus, they have lack of funding as well. And then
Yeah.
last, there'll be community colleges. So at this point, anyone in the audience, if you still think about changing careers, do it now before in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe 20. I'm
I
not a
don't even get a
psychic.
20. I give it 5.
You give it
I
5.
I
Oh,
give it
wow.
5 before stuff really starts to go away. Yeah,
Wow.
I
5.
do.
Okay.
And
So
I will say, if you're going to a community college, do something highly skilled. Go
that's
back
what
up
I'm
here to
doing.
Samry. If you're
Yeah.
going, it's you can go to a community college, but do
Mm-hmm.
something highly, highly skilled, either nursing or computer science or accounting, like really get something that is highly skilled and become a highly skilled worker. And you're not going to leave college being highly skilled, but the whole idea is if you work from, if you go to college, and let's say you go to a community college, so you're there for 2 years, you get out at age 20. From 20 to 27, you should be working on promotable tasks at work and building your network, right? Your technical skills, which, so I'm going to say this, I'm broken record for everybody, but I know we get a lot of new people here. Your technical skills is not about technology. It's the skills that you need to have in order to do the job or the career that you have very, very well, to be at the top 10% of that skilled labor force, right? So it's your technical skills, your soft skills, your multicultural networks, and getting your resources together through financial literacy. But yeah, and spending 20 to ages 20 to 27, like really honing on getting promotable tasks at work. And we've had that conversation here, ladies. So you can go back and listen to that live stream, and getting and networking. It's not what you know, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. If the right people don't know you, you're not going to be able to climb. The economic segregation happens to everybody, but we want to be on the other side, with the wealthy people. At least we want to have choices. We want to have choices. So flowing water. First of all, congratulations. She said here, I signed up for the BWBC course today. Thank you for sharing it. So I actually pulled it up because people may say, well, what is that? What is she talking about? If you are familiar with blockchain, ladies, blockchain is one of the big things of the future, along with AI and robotics. Blockchain is not just crypto, even though crypto is a use case for it. Blockchain is so much deeper than this. So there is a group called the Black Women Blockchain Council, right? And they have here the course for certified blockchain, but then they also had a course here to become a blockchain developer and learn Solidity. Ladies, people who know Solidity and DApps and all of this stuff, they are making 200,000, 300, at least the last I checked, 2 to 300,000 a year. And they're giving this course away. This is a course that was developed for Black Women Blockchain Council by a group called Consensus. Consensus is the number one, at least it used to be, the number one blockchain company out there. So when I say to you, When I say to you, there are companies out there that are giving things specifically to Black women. This group is Black Women Blockchain Council. And this company specifically, practically for $80, that's giving it away, teaching you a $300,000 skill, right? These things are going to be going away. It's going to take a lawsuit. There's going to be some lawsuit that happens where somebody says they did it for that group over there and I couldn't get in because I'm white and it was for Black women and it's going to go away. So that is why I'm suggesting to all of you, if you see something that you want to take it now. Do not wait. And Flowing Water, I'm doing my shimmy for you, girl. I am so excited that you decided to do it. Definitely get to know Aliyanka. She is the one who's in charge of BWBC. Fabulous woman, and all of the ladies over there. Um, Ashlove, you have something else to say before I continue with the comments?
Um, I lost the train of thought, but yeah, I see what you mean by within 5 years time. But when you mentioned with like community colleges, that's what I'm
Mm-hmm,
doing now. Like the skills considered as a highly skilled type of thing.
mm-hmm,
So in the medical field, so I just decided to just go that route because and also you also mentioned about networking. There's clubs at the community colleges, and I chose to go with one that where I can just network or some network at least, um, or join because I can network. So
mm-hmm,
basically that was my purpose, but and develop some skills as well. And I joined two clubs, and I joined a club when it deals with speaking, but still I want to develop certain skills so that during that time period I'll be fine and set. Whereas I really don't let me I really want to be either the highly skilled person
mm-hmm.
or the academic teacher. So
Okay.
um yeah, that's what I see myself as. But like I said, like if anyone is planning to go to school, I mean now is the time because I notice it's getting more difficult in terms of registration and in terms of criteria to enter, even though right now it's pretty low at the community colleges right now. But I think it's going to be even more difficult when it comes to certain criteria because certain programs say you need at least a 3.0, which is not that bad.
Mm-hmm,
Some of them say 2.0. I'm talking about like certain programs or highly skilled programs, they say 2.0. But now, if you're trying to get like a master's, they say at least a 3.0 or something. So soon they might raise it to like a 4.0 or something. But I just say, like, if anyone plans to go to college, just do it now before it's too late. So
I agree. I agree.
do it
Let
now.
me read
And
some of these other comments here because y'all have been saying a lot. So, Kita, I hope I'm saying your name right, is saying, Cherie, it's important to note that the above categories and status do not equate to good morals. I actually agree with you. My bio father is a dean of University of Ethiopia. He not only has a PhD, but postdoctoral education. You're also saying here, he was here in the USA for grad school and in a relationship with my AA mother, who was a nurse. She had me while she was engaged to him while he was here for grad school in the late 80s. And then you said here, thinking she was ascending into wealth, come for dating him. But shortly after I was born, he brutally left her and me to continue his studies in the Netherlands. Well, first of all, I'm very sorry that happened to you. You know, I definitely agree with you that this is just talking about money and it is not talking about morals. So we definitely want to have both. But it is better for us to have good morals and money than to be poor. So, but what you're saying is absolutely right. Like you keep your head on a swivel, even with wealthy people. I absolutely agree with you. Um, hey, it's Mia saying, what if you are on the phone a lot looking at productive things like audiobooks, business health, etc.? Yeah, I think that that's fine. I think this is fine. I think all of us we have a little, oh, Rana, good night. I'm sorry you come back if you want to. I didn't kick you off. Um, all of us have a little ratchet though in us, at times. So we just got to keep the ratchet in check. That's it. But yeah, if you're doing 80% of your time productive things and 20% you're watching a little gossip, like that's just how I try to keep my ratio as much as possible. Sammy is saying it's important to speak to small kids and teach them numbers and letters and how to read. Otherwise, they feel left behind when they join kindergarten. And it depends on what kindergarten they're going to now, Sammy, because I am looking at a lot of news reports where a lot of the young people in these classes cannot read. So, if you put your kid, if a child does not know how to read and doesn't know numbers and things like that, and he's amongst children or she's amongst children that don't know how to read, then that child will feel like, okay, I'm on par with everybody else. So yeah, it's important for us to have the financial wherewithal in order to put our kids into schools where they are going to be challenged based on the peers that are around them. You're talking about the bamboo ceiling. Yeah, we've talked about that definitely. Samri is saying there's a lot of after school academies in major Asian communities in the US and Canada. They're intense about getting their kids into intensive studies all the time. Yeah, you have to have the environment for that. Chris is saying here in the state of Texas, the legislature just recently lowered the minimum age of licensed HVAC techs to 16. Speaks volumes. They've been trying to recruit people. I feel like they should put the trades back into the high schools, especially for the young men, even though young women can do it as well. Look, junior, senior year, if they say, you know what, this academic thing is not for me, I want to go take a trade, like I'm for that. I'm definitely for that. That is smart legislation to me. Um, Denise is saying, "Oh wow, I need to look that up." She's looking at the Black Women Blockchain Council. Yeah, y'all should take a look at that Black Women Blockchain Council. So Beulah, of course, Beulah saying I've been new. Beulah's been with me for a while, so of course she knows. Rhonda was saying she had to go. She catch the replay. Okay. Flowing Water saying, thank you, Sharia, and I'll reach out to introduce myself. I like that there are office hours for questions and more. Yeah. You must be talking about my mortgage company, or are you talking about coming to the Zoom meeting next month? But I look forward to chatting with you. Mary is saying some school districts are not able to hire enough teachers, so they are lowering the requirements to be teachers, like not requiring a degree. I agree with that. I think there's a lot happening in the education space, and it's a hodgepodge of stuff. Teachers are not paid well. Teachers are treated with such great disrespect. The teachers do not have the parents, sorry, do not have the teachers' backs, and they're just not respected. So yeah, it's like you're going to get a lower set of teachers that are teaching your students, unless you're in an elite school. Then they hire the best teachers, and they're going to pay those teachers what they're worth. Oh, Beulah, you can come back. They're going to pay those teachers what they're worth, and they're not going to deal with all the discipline issues. So, Mary saying public school is slowly becoming the place of left behind kids. I agree. The parents who care are homeschooling or taking them to private academies. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. Oh, you're talking about the BW. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so they have office hours. That's great. That is great. Yeah, that group, they really do care about women actually getting the tools that they need in order to be successful. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of money made in blockchain, a lot of money. So, perfect. Okay, ladies. Well, um, I got a couple of other things that I will show you just so we can wrap up our discussion about the wealthy. Um, so, we mentioned this before, but we are talking about it again. The fact that a company that counts billionaires Mark Andreessen and Laurene Powell jobs as investors says it has bought 50,000 acres of land to build a new walkable city in Northern California. Here's everything we know about the plans. So, y'all, look, it's about to be a separation of the haves and the have nots. Um, Saying here that they intend to take the 50,000 acres. Who knew there was 50,000 acres near San Francisco? First of all, 50,000 acres near San Francisco. And these people are revealing a master plan. This is separation, ladies. This is separation. California Forever says it wants to build a walkable city with new jobs surrounded by an agricultural greenbelt. So basically, sounds to me like the city is going to be inside, then they're going to have a whole bunch of they call it agricultural greenbelt. I'm going to call it forestry to separate the haves and the have-nots. See, we thought everybody was leaving California. We thought everybody was leaving California. Turns out the wealthy is like, hell no, we're not leaving. We like the sun. We like the beach. We like our houses. We're just going to separate from all of you. They didn't say it on these 3 bullet points, but I think the crime has something to do with it in California. I bet you. I bet you they will have their own mayor. They will have their own city council. They will have their own sheriff. And they will have their own schools. And it's going to be the great divide, the haves and the have-nots. Beulah, hi. You can unmute yourself.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, my lady?
Well, hello and good afternoon. First of all, it's Labor Day weekend, so I finally get to call in and be on your show, which I might say is a privilege.
Thank you so much. How you doing?
I'm okay, just, thank God that we got Labor Day because you already know I work hard. I work in the skilled
Mm-hmm.
trade industry.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to share something as far as the competitiveness and talk to the Black ladies. Well, just, your audience, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't mind.
Go ahead.
I would like to share a recent story of competitiveness. Well, first of all, it's not that many women in the skilled trades industry, construction, and it's not that many Black women. So I went into construction at the age of 42. I was an apprentice, and now I'm a journeyman, which means I'm at the top of the food chain. So I remember when I went in, the guys, would look at me whatever kind of way, but especially the look that I got from the Black guys. And when you work with men, you know how men are, but especially in the construction industry, it's very highly patriarchal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the competitiveness came in more so from the Black guys versus the other guys. And in the Black man's mind, when they see Black women making 6 figures, they feel that we just been treated more fairly than them. But they don't understand and they don't care to understand that we got to work triple harder because number one, we're female and we Black. And this is a male dominated industry. So talk about some extreme competitivism. It's actually the competitivism started. It's always been there, but it got more astringent last year. But
Mm-hmm.
this year it just kicked off. I remember about 6 years ago, it was a Black lady that came up to me. She said, Beulah, you need to be working on open up your construction business because they're not going to let you stay in there too long. You need to be working on your construction business. So I took that tidbit, put it in the back of my mind, and started working on my construction business as I was an apprentice training and things like that. So fast forward, my foreman went and hired his friend, black. Now,
Mm-hmm.
everybody black. My crew is considered all black people, but I'm the only black female. There's 6 of us on the crew, and I'm one female and black. So
Mm-hmm.
my foreman hired his best friend who had been in the construction industry for 27 years. He hired him, brought him in, told him, I need you to train him because he's going to take your position and you're going to go to this division.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at my foreman like, really? Okay. Well, I knew that this day would come because I had a mentor that had been in the industry for over 30 years. She said, Beulah, you need to be putting yourself in the position to become a business owner and learn this skill and make your own money. So my foreman, I said, you sure about this? Now, mind you, I already know what's getting ready to happen. You
Mm-hmm.
get ready to give me a harder job so I can quit. That's what you're getting ready to do. Because it's hard anyway, Sheree. It's hard, on your body, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So he was like, you're going to train him. I said, well, I got to train him. He's been in the industry 27 years. He said, well, he needs to know how. I said, okay, fine, whatever. So I started planning my escape because I knew it was coming. So he said, I need you to train him. And then when your day comes, you're going to go work in this division. So I told him, I said, I don't think you want to do that. He said, why not? And I gave him every reason why not to do it. I said, but you know what? You're going to do it and you're going to regret it. I said, number one, you're discriminating against me because I'm female, I'm black. Well, how's it discrimination? I'm black. I said, because I've been here longer than him and you giving him my job is going to be more hours and less work. And you're going to send me to a harder division where it's less hours and more back breaking work. I said, I'm not doing it. He said, yes, you are. I said, no, I'm not. Okay, so time goes on. We working. I'm training his best friend for 16 years, and his best friend been in the industry for 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the day came. He said, Beulah, you get ready to go to this division. I said, I'm not. He said, you what? I said, I'm not going over there. I said, I told you I wasn't going. He said, what are you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna go home. He said, where are you gonna work at? I said, do you not know? Or you must have forgotten that I'm a journeyman with the United States Department of Labor. I can go anywhere in these 50 states and Canada and work. He said, what? I said, obviously
He
you
didn't
did
know
not
that.
know. Say what?
I said he
No,
didn't know that.
I guess he didn't know. Well, see, the construction industry is made up of something. Some people come in full scale. They know their father, their friend, and they bump them up the full field scale. Some of people don't have to go through the apprenticeship, but I did. So, it's like who you don't know. Some people can just come in, top of the scale, no experience, but I went through the entire 4,860 hours program,
Mm-hmm.
schools outside in the snow. But anyway, so once I told him that, I said, I go anywhere. He said, what? I said, I can go anywhere, anytime, any place in the fifth United States and Canada. I said, this is not the only game in town. I said, you send me, you're going to be less a worker. He sent me. Guess what? I didn't go. It rocked the nation. Everybody was all shocked. All the bosses and the VPs and all that, phone ringing off the hook. I didn't take their phone call, Sheree. Black women, you have to put yourself in a position to be competitive so you can be able to outsmart this patriarchal. You got to get yourself in a position because if you don't, you won't eat and you're going to lose. And it makes them mad to this day because I work for another contractor, plus I work for myself. But it makes those grown men mad to this day that I was able to go somewhere in the snap of a finger. Because I don't supposed to know that, charade. I'm not supposed to have that kind of mentality to know, Beulah, this is what you do when they come after you. So black women, when I tell you it's competitive, believe charade because it's real.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm glad you had your skills and I'm glad you had your ability to bounce. That is like the biggest thing that scares me for so many women is you don't have your networks and you don't have your resources and you're staying in abusive relationships at home and we're staying in abusive relationships at work because we cannot say deuces and bounce. So that's the greatest thing that you can have is your freedom.
Yes.
And so many people don't. So that's why when we talk about this economic segregation, And I
Mm-hmm.
talk about everybody else.
Yeah.
Like everybody else, that's serious. And that's like 80 to 90% of the people.
Yes.
And you're stuck. And
Yes.
nobody's going to help you.
And you're gonna be out there with an "I work for food" sign. So black women, you better listen to Sheree. But I am so glad that and when I was 42, I'm 49 now. I've been in this industry for 7 years. I'm so glad that God sent that little bird and flew
Mhm.
up to me and told me, "Hey, you need to be working on something else because they're not gonna let you stay. They're not gonna let you make these six figures. These guys gonna get mad. These guys are gonna jealous." And she told me, she says, "It's gonna come from the black men. So watch it." And she was right.
And you know what? So you bring up a good point because we've got 44 people in here. And how many of us had people whisper something in our ear and we didn't like pay attention when they were telling us, right? It happens all the time. So if somebody's been trying to tell you something about your profession, and I'm just talking about you, Beulah, I mean, anybody that's in here, um, like take heed. If
Yes.
somebody's trying to tell you, this is why when I know that there were certain people who were triggered with the Heather McDonald thing about when race trumps merit, I kept just trying to say, let's not just slap racist on her. I know how people
Mm-hmm.
felt, but
Mm-hmm.
let's listen to what she's saying and
Exactly.
let's see that this train is coming. You're not going to be able to stop it. You better be able to pivot. And that is one of the big things that I want the ladies on this channel to be able to do and pivot before you need to, because
Yes.
a lot of this stuff is going away. And if you're not born on third base, or if your kids are not born on third base, it's going to get harder for you to move up the economic ladder.
Yes,
It's
it
going to get
is.
harder.
And black women, you better continue to take classes. You better continue to make your skill set. You need to get all your credentials and your certifications together and keep them current. Well, for me, I have to keep mine current, but do
Hmm.
not let them slack because they're going to look for any reason, any excuse to just for you not to have anything to eat. And what men don't understand is that women, when we work in the construction industry, we work from the center of gravity so we can move and lift heavy things. Guys work with their muscles, and you know what I'm saying? It's like woohoo, my child. So when people see me out there working, hey, how's she able to move all this heavy stuff and work so hard? Is because I mastered the art of skill of working from the center of gravity, which is my legs, my hips, and my stomach.
Hmm.
So you move stuff from the center of gravity. That way you can work smarter, not harder. And that's what the guys doesn't get that I work with. How is this black girl able to do this hard job? But I don't share with them how I do it because God knows I couldn't do that. I'm not that stupid. But I know that I'm working from the center of gravity. And I'm 49 years old. And believe me, I'll outwork the 29-year-olds. And they can't
Hmm.
stand it, Sheree. They hate it.
Well, you got some shout outs here. So, first of all, Abundance is saying, a woman had your back. Women must support women. Yeah,
Yes.
there
Yes.
are women that support other women. There are Black
Yes.
women that support other Black women. That is why I don't like crap on Black women. That's why
Oh
on this
no, never
channel,
do that.
I that is why on this channel I do not allow any of you as Black women to talk negatively about each other in the chat. That is
Mm-mm.
the one rule that I have in on my channel and in this chat that'll get you kicked off my channel. So, if we're going to uplift each other, that's what we're going to do, or, be neutral, right? You can just disagree with other people's points without attacking them.
Yes.
So, Samri is saying, I'm interviewing for a construction systems management position, and I'm honestly apprehensive about hanging out with the men all day. Thankfully, it'll be white men. You better look out for them
You
too. I'm
gotta
going to
look
say
out for
that.
that too.
Yeah. So here is what I will say is that have your head on a swivel, but I know a couple of women in construction and they do very well. They're not labor. They are
Yeah, I'm on the
they're
labor
on the
heavy intense
office.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're on the office like not office management, but like construction management. I
They
know a
call that the
woman.
degree trade. You got the skilled
Yeah.
trades and then you got the degree trades.
Yeah, so I know one woman who does the estimating. The estimating
Mm-hmm.
in their industry is like putting together the budgets and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and
They
bidding
do
on the
the bidding for
jobs.
the jobs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's very good at that. And then I know another woman in Detroit who is a general contractor, and
Mm-hmm.
she does like fix and flips and helps people like set up Section 8 housing
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
invest and things like that. She is a dynamo.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there are women like doing their thing in construction. You just have to be able to deal with the misogyny,
Oh my
in that
God.
profession. So
Well,
yeah.
one thing you got to be able to do is make sure you have an exit plan because they're not going to let you stay there and make those six figures. Now, after taxes, is it six figures? No. But the thing about the construction industry, you constantly move up in pay. You don't go backwards. The pay increases, it never decreases.
Hmm.
So
And
when you
somebody
got
was
the,
saying that, were you on Chrissy's channel? Were you on Chrissy's
yes,
channel?
yes, I'm a Chrissy fan. Yes,
All right,
yes,
cool. Well, Kita
yeah,
is saying that she heard you on Chrissy's channel.
yeah. Well,
So,
I love Chrissy just like I love you, Sheree.
well, thank you so much. Thank you. And somebody else had mentioned here about Afrotech as well as with regards to the conferences. So I've heard great things about Afrotech. I've gone to Blackest Tech, and I like Blackest Tech.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, there are Black wealth. Well, Blackest Tech, and I haven't been to Afrotech, but Blackest Tech is more about tech and
Hmm.
business than it is about
Hmm.
wealth building.
By
But
software.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Ain't
But
nothing wrong with it, you know.
yeah. I mean, there are some great Black conferences out there. They tend to be smaller though. They don't tend to get 20,000 people
Oh no.
in there. This is the only one, and it had to lean heavily on entertainment. That's all I was saying with regards to that. So, um, and Mary is saying the speaker should start consulting real estate investors. I would love to have a woman PM managing the build
Project
process.
manager. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
There's a
The
lot of
woman
them
in
out there.
Detroit, yeah, the woman I
They're
know in Detroit
everywhere,
does
but it's
that.
not that many in the field. The office is not so competitive, but in
Hmm.
that field, whoo, my goodness.
Yeah. Tam is saying she spoke at Blackest Tech last year, or you're
That's
speaking at Blackest
good.
Tech
That's
this year.
good.
Sorry. That's great. Look, Tam is the woman that people seek her out. So, yeah,
That's good.
Blackest Tech I really do like. So, with that, I want to just go through. You can stay up if you want to, Beulah. You can lower down. I just want to go through um, a couple of additional articles talking about this walkable city, these 50,000 acres here that these rich people are building. And Tam did
Oh,
say
it's called
earlier,
green space.
um, it is okay. I haven't
In
gone.
Detroit, they call it green space or
Oh,
park
okay. I was
green
about
grass.
to say I didn't read that in this article that that's what they were calling this California one. But Tam said earlier in the chat that if you got the money, you can make new zip codes, and that's what these individuals are doing. I honestly, like I was saying before Beulah got up here, they are going to have their own police force, and they will be profiling. Like, don't get it twisted. And you think you could go up here and sue these people and get money for racial profiling and all of that? Think again. We talked about the fact that Buckhead in the Atlanta area was trying to create its own municipality. The separation is coming, ladies. It's definitely coming. So you at least be skilled labor, so that way you could potentially get in, or a business owner, either one, so that you could potentially get into these developments. So they have here again bought 50,000 acres to build a new city in Solano County, which is Northern California. The company Flannery Associates has been quiet until now, so no telling how long they've been planning this. They've probably been planning this for a few years. Um, but its parent company, California Forever, just launched a new website detailing its master plan. Ooh, let's go to the website. I didn't even think about this. Now I'm nosy. So this is California Forever starting a conversation about Eastern Solano County. a chance for a new community, good paying local jobs, solar farms, and open space. So this is what they're, look at all the greenery over here. They're like, look, we want to see you coming. This is going to be like, I don't, we want to see you coming before you get over here, right? So they have here, let's see, nestled between Sacramento, San Francisco, and Napa Valley. Solano perfectly captures the diversity of California's landscapes and its people. Um, they're going to have purchased 50,000 acres. So it's saying here, like much of our state, Solano County faces many challenges, but also presents countless opportunities. Over the past few years, we have completed surveys and interviews with about 2,000 residents, and your voices were clear. Residents want more opportunities to buy homes in safe, walkable communities, good paying local jobs so they can both live and work in the county, better funding to improve schools, promote public safety, and reduce homelessness, which y'all know the homelessness issue in San Francisco, they're not dealing with it in the city, right? As well as resources to invest in infrastructure for transportation, water, and wildfire protection. Last month, 81% of Solano parents we surveyed, now these 2,000 people, right? 81% said that their kids won't be able to find a future in their own neighborhood when they grow up. These challenges often have separate, unrelated causes, but they could share a common solution. Instead of watching our kids leave, we have the opportunity to build a new community that attracts new employers, creates good paying local jobs, builds homes in walkable neighborhoods, leads in environment stewardship, and fuels a growing tax base to serve the county at large. So, this is what it looks like now, ladies, the area today. So, and this is what it's going to look like. Not a black person in sight. Oh my God. Not a black person in sight, y'all. But this is what it's going to look like here. And look, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. There's going to be an HOA. They may have to. I heard that in some buildings in New York, the tenants association gets to vote on whether or not you can buy like a co-op or a condo or the apartment in some of these buildings in New York. It could end up being the same way over here. The town may have to vote you in. It may not be that you just have the money. Like, you know, when we start talking about class over here and economic segregation and all of that, this is what it's going to end up looking like. So Tam is saying this is what Gen Z is also pushing. They want to live and work in the same neighborhood. Absolutely. Natasha is saying, I am near the end of my technology career. It has been good, but had its challenges as well, as you likely can imagine. I'm definitely. Tam is saying here they are looking to build more tech cities with town centers. Yeah, yeah. And they want to create schools where they can like have certain curriculum that they are over. They're over, you know, they're overseeing. So um they script their futures. Exactly. Exactly. So Tam is saying minimum houses of 2 million with an HOA. I would believe it. I would believe it. These little townhouses here that you see probably are going to be 1.5 million. If you want a single family home, you're probably looking at 3 to 4 million. Yep. And you're not going to be able to get in. They're going to have some in-law suites just in case they have either mom staying there or their au pair, their nanny, maybe their housekeeper might stay over. You're saying I'm absolutely right. That's a divide conquer tactic, and Black women too often unintentionally take the bait. Yeah, I was talking about that before. Yeah, yeah. So you are going to have to be a home buyer. You don't have to be a home buyer there. Absolutely, ladies. So look, um, you're asking here, could you do a video about the blockchain certification, please? I'm interested, but the website doesn't have much information about it. I will invite Olayinka to come. I know her, so let me see if I can get her on the calendar to come and talk about it. I'd rather her talk about it than me do it. But yeah. I was wondering what you think about studying abroad. I think I might be able to get into a higher university abroad. Okay, I only did study abroad for a semester. Best time of my life. Loved it. I went to Belgium. And I did that because I wanted to travel all across Europe. So, obviously, when you go to Europe, like you could basically get anywhere in a matter of hours because of the TGV or the fast trains. Um, as long as you are picking like a safe country, then I'm a fan of studying abroad. I think that it broadens your horizons. It helps you with language. It helps you with culture. It looks great on your LinkedIn, looks great on your resume. You're going to meet different people. We're also always talking about multicultural networks. People are going to have a certain better perception of you because you have studied abroad. So, yeah, I'm for it. I'm for it. So, all right. So, coming back here, we've talked about Solano County and all of that. Um, there's talking here about what the company is and what do they plan to do with their site. We kind of already talked about that as well. So, yeah. The other thing is, Erica talked about this a little bit as well about the private luxury terminals being open now. So this is one is opening in Atlanta in September. This is it here. Atlanta will soon have its first private luxury terminal for affluent commercial travelers. PS, which opened a similar facility at Los Angeles in 2017, is now accepting reservations for the terminals opening on September 6th. So, look, separation. There's also a luxury RV move. Damn Google Ads. A luxury RV park on spare land near an airport in Florida. So, look, this is happening everywhere. You got luxury or economic segregation in RVs. You've got economic segregation at the airport, flying private as well as flying commercial and just being separated from everybody. You've got economic segregation that's going to be happening near major cities. Ladies, you better get ready. You better get ready. That's why I'm always telling you if there's something you want to learn, take it now. And this is not the time to have low skills. This is not the time to have low skills. You want to be at the top 10% of your profession with regards to your skills. You don't want anybody questioning how you got into that position. Yes, you're going to have to work 3 times as hard. Our parents and grandparents had to work 3 times as hard to get half as much. I think we can work 3 times as hard to get as much as other people if we know salary negotiation, if we know how to hang on to our resources, if we're buying houses, if we are buying stock, if we are doing other wealth building things, et cetera, et cetera. We won't have it as hard as our parents and grandparents, but in my opinion, I'm just going to say Cherie, I am not leaving it to chance with regards to anybody saying Cherie got in this company, Cherie got this opportunity because she's Black and she's a woman. You don't have to be excellent. You don't have to be excellent. You want to get into this city with these people here, if this is what you're choosing to do, this California forever, not only you have to be excellent, but your children have to be excellent as well. because this city is meant to keep people out. Economic segregation is going to be about keeping people out. So that is the word of the day. So let me come here and just make sure you all, a couple of final words here. Work with companies that are in multiple countries. This is the easiest way in tech. For example, I have friends working in Australia. They go over and work 5 years and stack all their money and retire. I love that. You're saying here, I love the idea of studying abroad in higher education. The colleges tend to be more affordable than in the US. You're saying here, I'm willing to take the train over dealing with the TSA harassment. Yeah. Excellent pay on both sides of the coin. Make sure you have a way to relax. Excellent pay, sorry, on both sides of the coin. Make sure you have a way to relax. Yeah, absolutely. Natasha is saying, you are helping us work 3 times as smart. Thank you, Sharif, for everything you are doing. You are most welcome. And I know you have a lot of good advice, Natasha. I know you have a lot of good advice for the young ladies. So, but yeah, the way that the court cases are going, the way that, so let me just, because I have listened to some of my past broadcasts and I don't think I've articulated what I'm about to say in this way. The reason why I tell you you're going to have to work 3 times as hard is because there are a lot of court cases now coming out with regards to people questioning Black people in positions. We are the scapegoats. I've said that to you before. We had that conversation during our Heather McDonald conversation. We had it during our abolishing affirmative action conversations, etc. Here's what's going to happen. And this is Cherie's spidey senses, but I put money on this. What's going to happen is there's going to be a court case that happens and it's going to be really close. And some company is going to get slapped with a lawsuit because they would have discriminated against a white person or an Asian person in favor of a Black person. And it is going to scare future employers from hiring you if they think that your hire is questionable based on the fact that you are Black and or you are a woman. More importantly, you're Black. So if you, let's say that there's some sort of standardized metric, meritocracy, right? There's some sort of standardized metric with regards to excellence in your industry. And you are teetering on average, you're most likely not going to get hired because that employer is going to be scared that they're going to be sued because they hired you versus somebody else. This is, I've listened to some of my past broadcasts and I'm like, I haven't been exactly clear about why I'm believing these things, but that is what I'm trying to say when it comes to this. If you're not at the top of your skills, if you're not at the top of the class, if somebody has any reason to doubt that they're going to get sued from hiring you, then they're probably not going to do it. And you're not even going to know that that's the reason why they didn't do it. So I hope I'm clear with this. I'm re-listening to broadcasts because I want to be super clear, especially because so many of you are young ladies. I want to be super clear on why I'm giving you some of the advice that I'm giving you. So, Kita's saying, please do it with the exception of Eastern Europe, do it. So, have I been to Eastern Europe? I've been to Bulgaria. I didn't study there. I just went for the weekend. I went to Bulgaria. I went to Istanbul. Istanbul was great. But I was stationed in Belgium. I was stationed in Brussels and I loved it. I loved it. Last thing, does anyone think a graduate certificate will help to get into higher university? I have to admit, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Talk to some people who have graduate certificates and see if it made a difference. These cities are ridiculous. We're supposed to be going forwards, not backwards. Well, honey, this is the way of the world. So I just come here and try to give you the facts as they are and how to navigate. So, because a lot of people will sit there and say it should be this, it should be that, it should be the other, and they don't tell you like, well, but in the meantime, this is how it is, this is how you navigate. So Natasha's talking about the metaverse. Yeah, metaverse is everything. So all right, everybody, that is it for me. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you. I think tomorrow I'm going to do something for all of my entrepreneurs. So I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.